we're back to whaling, but it's different. And you can see why on the screen or in the title of the video, so I'm not going to be like, what's happening? Whoa! But we're going to be pulling on a different game, different whaling activities, because both Jason and I have decided that we want... Look, I don't like the phrase Dommy Mommy, but if there is actually one of them, it's this one, because Kafka actually dominates people. So we're both pulling for her because I guess we're simps. I don't know.
I have big villain energy from first starting this game. It was such a good introduction to like clearly an interesting villain, and all the new trailers they put out like this last 2 weeks or whatever. Even the one today, phenomenal stuff.
Really good stuff.
Oh yeah,
and
the classical music and all that. Oh, choice.
Just to give you a preview, in addition to Wayland, we're also going to talk about the two games. So I'm not going to blow our load now, but that is one area where Genshin and Honkai both excel, is that all their trailers are really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Easily.
We're going to talk about some of the pros and cons and differences between them. So if you're kind of new to this, if you haven't really seen Honkai Star Rail, maybe you played Third Impact, maybe you've never engaged with Honkai at all, we're going to talk a little bit about that because Jason's played through a decent amount of it. I'm up to date on story quests. I still have a lot of side stuff to do because I don't have a ton of time. And Doug is also here.
Oh, hey, guys. I'm here.
He's here.
You guys, yeah.
And that's essentially the gist of it. So, we're going to start with Jason pulling because he has less. I'm guaranteed, whether I win the 50-50 or not, I have 180-something pulls. Jason's looking for a little bit more on the luck side because he's got a good amount from the beginning of the game, but he's not guaranteed here.
I have not spent a single one of these. This is literally just what I've been doing since playing through like the first chapter and not logging in for months. So, you know.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. But we're hoping for luck. We're hoping we're going to pet the kitty here. Pet the kitty? Okay. There you
Pet
go.
kitty.
That's
Who's kitty? Is kitty Elio? Who knows?
That's the question. That's the question. Is the cat the leader of the Stellaron Hunters, or is the cat just cute? Probably both.
Could just be cat. Yeah,
could just be
both?
Cat.
All right, well, this is the same for anybody who's brand new to this. Everything has a different coding to it, but it's all the fucking same. It's all going to be like soft caps at 75, guaranteed by 90. The nomenclature is different, but the process is identical. So he's going to be pulling 10, I guess, to start, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's going to be the plan. My history is completely clean, so there's no other counts or anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I actually need to double check mine. I think it's 4. I'll look at it when we get to mine.
Okay, we'll do the first one, and we'll do the video. People can see what this looks like. It's not a little star falling from the sky or whatever.
Can't skip the first one.
This is the Star Rail, okay? It's a train.
It's a rivet.
Okay.
Well, you could tell that this one is not the one with the 5-star because he was not face planted.
Yeah, he was not blown away.
He freaks out, and it's also a gold instead of purple. So just like there's a little tell in Genshin, obviously it's a little more obvious in this one.
And
but
these are sort of like, what would you equate these to for Genshin? Like, they're not even quite weapons, but like they kind of are, but not really.
They're like the weapon slot, right? So
essentially. They're akin to the weapons. They're different, but they're similar enough that it's the best comparison.
Well, I already have a Herta, as everyone does.
Yeah, you're going to get plenty of them from the Forgotten thingy.
I do already have a Sampo. I've been leveling him up because I know he works with Kafka. My Serval I also already had. It was leveling her up as well.
Serval's pretty good, especially for a 4-star.
Yeah, but all of these 3 are good with her. So I'm hoping I can get, what's his name? Luca?
Yes.
A singular Luca would be great, so I at least possess him. That'd be good.
You can try out the combinations with him. I don't know that I'm going to run him. I expect I'm going to pull at least one, given how many I'm going to pull, but we'll see.
But I have been enjoying Sampo. He's been incredibly useful, and I had to like crazy level up my Serval to pass some of the final bosses in the first act, because I just didn't have the right weaknesses and stuff. So
I think Sampo's a good character. I understand why people like him. I personally hate his archetype.
He's incredibly insufferable, but almost charming about it.
I know, and that's why I don't hate him, but I'm not a fan like some are, just because it's like, okay, dude, you can't backstab us every single fucking time we see you.
He's on the fence. Okay, he likes to dip onto both sides.
And everybody around him just kind of shrugs. They're like, I don't know, maybe this time. It's like, no, not this time.
No, never. Will he help you when it's beneficial to you and him? Yes. Will he also dip out when it's beneficial to you and not to you, or him not to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awful. I don't know. We'll go second one here.
Feed the ticket into the ticket slot.
Oh, that's Pom Pom, if anyone cares. He's the mascot.
Pom Pom, slightly better
Paimon?
than Paimon. Slightly.
That'll be something we'll talk about, I think, when we talk about the game,
Hmm.
is the fact that we don't have, like, a Paimon equivalent for, like, chatting when we're going around in quests.
And somehow we survive.
Yeah.
That's a nice pull.
Circle's good. I think that's my second, what do they call it? Eidolons? Whatever
Yes.
they're called? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
honestly, I'm prepared to fuck up the terminology a lot because of the overlap and the similarities. So I believe you're right. Yes, Eidolon.
Were I not literally just trying to grind through a story quest to get as far as I could, like this past week, I would not know.
I like there's a little song, even though it's dubstep. I'm not saying that's better than Genshin, just it's there.
Dance, dance, dance. I don't know if I know this one.
We're falling apart to halftime.
Dance, dance, we can't be the lead for the song.
That was probably my 4-star.
We were hoping for 2, but
You can always hope.
all right. So we're still early. That was only 30.
It was only 30. That's right. Okay. You know,
You're
we
not
can-
Doug, so
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what
so-
my luck is going to be like in this game, so... Jason
My luck
kinda
is very
described this
untested
game-
in this game, you know?
Yeah, Jason kind of described this game as like a very, very soft Star Trek equivalent.
Oh, look at that. Haluka.
hey.
So you're visiting other worlds, kind of like a Star Trek. Is this correct?
Yes.
We're going to talk about it, but yeah,
Okay.
which has some pros and cons over
Yeah.
Genshin, just on that
Yeah,
fact
there-
alone.
Yep, there are some narrative similarities between this and Star Trek. Okay. I'll take the new character. That's always good.
If nothing
Okay.
else, it's fair to call these weapons because the ratio is the same as the other banners in Genshin, where it's like you're pulling for
Yes.
characters, but you get a bunch of other bullshit.
Yes. Yes, that much is true.
Well,
So I think we would know. I don't remember
yeah,
what the
I
animation
think,
looks like.
I think it tips off before even this point.
I think so
I think the
too.
song is different if I remember right. I've only pulled 2 5-stars, but
Okay.
Oh,
Another
there you go.
Luke is fine.
Another one.
this is where I want to do the no Luca no reference, but we actually want to see him. Hey,
Is that a good one for Serval? It's got her on it, so usually they tend to.
usually
synergize
it doesn't
well.
it doesn't guarantee it's best in slot, but it's always good.
Yeah.
I think the 5-star ones are always going to be best in slot, but
Yeah.
just like weapons, I won't be pulling those.
Okay. 2 4-stars ain't bad.
Nope. All right,
Okay.
now we're starting to look for something here.
Oh yeah, we are. Okay. I saved up all these and did not do enough work as I probably should have, but you know.
Well, you'll have some conversions too.
Yeah, there's a chance
True.
that
I should. Yeah.
the aesthetics of this game and the kind of the whole thing, it should vibe a lot better than Genshin does, but for some reason I haven't played this game in months.
Different structure,
there-
different folks.
Yep. There are some elements of this that I like a lot more than Genshin, and some that are, this or that. It kind of depends.
Mm-hmm.
That might be my second. I don't. It's second. It's first or second for Sampo.
We'll take a peek after. All right, this is a big one.
Yeah. What is this? This hits the 70 mark, basically. So we want to see if we can start, if we can beat the soft pity. But I'm not Doug, so.
I mean, I could just walk over there and help you out.
And press the button for me. That's true.
Yeah,
you
just-
should do
just
that.
press the
That
button,
it would
that's
be
true.
super silly.
By proximity, this should be going better.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well,
A feeling we're gonna have a very disappointing pull. Okay, there's a Sampo.
Yeah, I guess the question is going to be, what do you do now? Do you go convert 5 more and pull 10?
I think I just pull
One
them
by one?
individually. I think it doesn't really matter. I suppose I wouldn't be mad if I pulled extras. I suppose.
Yes, because you like.
Uh,
Well, there's potential for all 3 of these 4 stars
Let's see here.
because they did a good job with this banner, and most banners so far are putting characters that pair well together.
I'm pretty sure it's the special pass you want. And 5. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, we got our last one here. Unless I start throwing money at this thing, which I don't know that I'll do on stream or ever. We'll figure it out. Okay. Pet the cat. Good kitty. Okay.
I don't know if this is a good sign or bad.
I don't think it's a good sign.
I don't think so.
Nah.
It
Nope.
doesn't tip. It happens before this.
I think so too, yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out when Chris does it.
Oh, we will.
In the meantime, do some
Natasha or
emergency
Claire
playing
one.
and see if you can get some achievements.
I can convert some of the things. I think I did one of those early passes at one point. What are they called? They're not called the moon thing.
Yeah, it's not Welkins. It's not.
It's not a Welkin moon. It's
There
not,
might be one other
but
exchange you can do.
I
There's
think
multiple
I
that give those tickets.
I did that one already.
That one
'cause
already
it
for
was
the month?
the
Okay.
It was the
Yeah.
discounted one. Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
out.
Okay. So there will be more you can get from that, but not today.
I think. Don't I have some of the other?
Do you have any
things?
gems?
I
I
think
want
I
to call
do.
them Prima gems. That's one pull.
How do I do that?
we could
Let's see.
just warp one and not have to. It'll
Oh
automatically
yeah,
exchange.
and it'll just yell at me, huh?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here
this is
one.
it.
Last one.
Here it is, everybody.
Well,
Yeah, no. So
I like that we tried.
we did.
We were going to switch
did
to
the
one
thing.
from here anyways, so
Yeah.
not even a purple.
Not even a purple. Well, there it is. Look at that. That's what it looks like to not be Doug, everybody.
But there is still plenty of time in the event. So you're going to at
Yes.
least be able to hit the 50-50 for sure. It's just a question of will it happen.
What happens? Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the question.
Okay, well, let's take away your screen. And I need to
Mhm.
share my screen, so the viewers won't see that, but you guys need to. Share OBS. Sure. Okay, so you all should be able to see that now. And I'm going to stop
Yes.
streaming Jason's. I think I just stopped my own, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I think
Yes,
it's
you
dropped off. I'm fixing it.
I did.
I don't think
did.
anything's changing on the viewer side. Okay, there we go.
All right. Cool.
You guys can see mine?
Yes.
Yep.
So as you can see in the top right corner, 181 polls
Mhm.
and then some.
So you have enough
Um,
to fail and then get.
And then
That's right. So
Yes.
we will be getting a Kafka.
yeah, one way or another, you're getting it.
Maybe two.
I did want to look at details and count back because we did get Zila.
Zila.
So we have 3. So 3. Here we go. It's so much fancier on my screen because of my setup and not streaming it over Discord.
I'm not currently not getting any sort of tail because I can't hear it for whatever reason. But I bet you that's because
I could just
you're
share the
on
other window.
OBS.
Yeah.
That's easy enough to fix. Change windows. Star Rail. Oh yeah, but I can't because it won't stream the access and then
It's fine.
missing permissions. I don't want to ruin it for OBS, so I'll tell you if the sound changes though. Okay. I need to be able to skip. We're not going to watch all these. I don't care. All right, 2 4 stars though. Great.
We didn't see any of those for Jason.
I don't want
2
any
4 stars.
Sampos. So we saw 1.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got 2 Sampos.
No, I mean we had 2 with 2 4 stars. One with 1
Oh,
with 2 4
yes,
stars.
yes.
But only 1, which is not very good luck.
Yeah. Well. This is why when I play Baldur's Gate 3, I leave karmic dice on. Okay. That way the math fixes itself.
Yeah, I think I'm going to play that, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, if you need people to join, I can attempt to join you there.
I can't talk about turn-based games and then not play that.
That's
Yeah.
really good. I've
Mhm.
been playing it with Maya, and we've been having a lot of fun. So
All means it kind of sounds like it's going to beat out Tears of the Kingdom for Game of the Year for a lot of people. So
Tonight, it's a
I-
packed year.
now,
Okay, well, this is all expected.
yep.
Hey,
you didn't expect anything for the first 3 or 4.
yeah. I mean, we're 33 in, so this is all fine. Got one Luca, so that's nice. Okay.
All right.
43, going for 53.
Now you gonna hold off if you get the single Kafka?
Yes.
Okay.
So no Constellation 1.
No. No, I don't want Sampo. No.
He's really good though.
No, get him out of here. So 53 going to 63. Yeah, this is it. So there was a slight pause in the music, and then the song was different.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what are we getting? What are we getting?
Okay, we gotta go one by one.
We're looking for umbrellas.
We
okay?
don't. Yeah,
Umbrellas.
as I say, we don't know what the debate club equivalent is here.
There you
There
go.
Beautiful.
Lots of umbrellas.
No.
The debate
Sampo
club equivalent
Gaske.
is Sampo.
No.
Gaske.
No, get him out of here.
Beautiful.
There she is, in the stars.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
I have a few things built up for her, not as much as I would have liked, but I have been working on it. I did get to try her out a decent amount in this event, which I actually enjoyed quite a bit. Going into the deep dungeons. We also could pull her weapon. I'm just
Well,
kidding. We're not going to do that.
You could give it a
Yeah,
go,
especially because my understanding is there's a really good, easier thing to get from like the dungeons. The what do you call them? I don't know what you'd call them. The domains equivalent.
Yeah. I mean,
It's got
look,
a funny name.
we don't hate this.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice, especially because you're only single targeting. Usually you get AOE with her, but if you're single targeting, you can still get some spread, which is good. We're just gonna keep going this way. I did just pull. Let's look. I did just pull Japar
Oh, on the regular banner.
on the regular one. I'm
Yeah.
hoping to get. Well, there's a couple different ones I suppose I could get. The first one I got off the 50 was Himiko.
Himiko.
And because I have Zila, I'm supposed to have Bronya. Like, that's canonical.
That's true. They're gay for each other.
Right.
Hardcore.
But
yeah.
there's a way for me to do that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Here we are.
Yeah, I got
So-
Welt, and he's fun. He just runs around with a cane and just says like edgy things and opens black holes on people. Hey, that's the one from Ada. That's the one that you need.
Yeah,
That's
this is
a
going
really
to
good
work.
4-star.
I haven't actually leveled this up yet. I was working on relics for her primarily and grinding a few level up materials, but we'll just toss this on and I'll worry about fixing it later. Look at the art. Look at it.
Beautiful.
Look at the art. Okay, don't look at it anymore, you fucking pervert. This is going to need a lot of work off screen because this just takes even longer with some of the conversions than it does in Genshin. But I have a decent amount of these saved up, at least for the beginning, and I'll be able to upscale a few. So, like, I'll get a decent amount there. Relics-wise, I just need to steal everything that's... Yeah, no, you were a mule. That was all you existed for. Because I have a couple of good ones here. I'm pretty happy with this one. Attack, crit rate, effect, hit rate we like. And of course, flat attack is guaranteed. Just like in Genshin, there's 2 slots that are guaranteed to be health and attack. Yeah, no, she's dead to me. She was never real. I'm still working on this one. This one's also pretty nice. Crit rate, effect rate, and break. So I actually have a couple decent relics. They're 4 stars. That's not ideal, but whatever.
The game's just starting out. There's a lot of time.
Yeah,
So
that one's not great, but it is a 5-star. It does have double attack at least. But it's also HP main, which we don't love. I don't even know if I had worked on these yet, so we're going to say fuck it for now. But just to get a basic idea, she's really looking to... lightning damage, of course, makes sense. Attack makes sense. Effect hit rate makes sense. There's a few different routes you can go depending on what you're doing primarily. But, whatever's going to work. No Eidolons. If we were to go for level 1, which I might now because I got her and it was pretty early, this is nice, but I don't think it's that important.
Yeah, I don't... From what I've seen, which is an interesting element of this, is that skill tree, what do they call them? Not talents. Traces.
Traces, yeah.
The traces are almost more important.
Yes.
There's a trace that she's got where her ult doesn't just trigger shock, it triggers all DOTs, and that is far more important than I think everything else on this.
Yep, and you can just grind for those. You don't have to deal with this horseshit. Now this, Fortissimo,
sure,
is quite good for a dot team. Good. And her 6, of course, is very good. But I'm not going to get a C6 ever, so what's the point in looking at it?
Is everything about her related to music, or what's the...
A lot of it is.
Yeah, she's a music nerd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which then explains the trailer with the class and all that.
Yeah.
I'll do this real quick. I already had 1. Now I'm going to have 4. Big money, no whammies. Anyway, look at his dumb face.
The deeper the love, the stronger the hate is exactly Sampo.
Yes. Okay, is that going to clear that and then you... Okay. All right. So, I succeeded. Hopefully Jason still will. He hasn't failed yet, but we'll see in the next couple of days. We'll have to put in the comments or something what happens. So let's talk about the differences here. And I want to point out a couple of things that Honkai does that are better just flat out right out of the gate. Okay, and then we'll talk about some of the differences. Number 1, we kind of alluded to it, but on the standard banner, as it were, regular warp, we call it here, there is a couple different things. Number 1, not that one, this button.
That's true, that additional reward, that's right, when you've done 300
so,
on the meet to pick somebody.
First, we mentioned, as you're starting out, you get a pretty heaping helping of these, and when you hit 50, you're guaranteed a 5, which is better than the usual 90. You're going to get one of these 7. But this, there is no excuse for Genshin not having done this yet.
Yep,
period.
I absolutely agree.
Flat out. And when people complained about the anniversary event that Genshin did last year, this would have been a big step in assuaging that complaining. Because you hear the stories all the time. I've been playing for 2 or 3 years. I still don't have a Mona. I still don't have a D-Luke. Whatever. Right?
Yeah.
You can't even get these characters that don't get their own special banners and aren't guaranteed. And sometimes people see those designs like, oh, I want that character. So the fact that this is in this game is both a good sign because it's clearly like an evolution, but it's also this kind of gaping maw that Genshin hasn't filled.
Yep.
And like, this isn't even that generous if we're being honest. It takes 300 pulls on this. But at least you know you can get it. If I really just I want Bronya, I can get her in 170 more pulls.
Yeah, it's
progress doesn't reset if you do get it in advance, does it?
No, but I would just be able to pick some other character when I get to that point. Then.
Okay.
So like if that were to happen, I mean, or I could pull her again and get a C1, but I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably pull for somebody else I don't have.
Now the only thing I don't know is, do you only get this once or is it every 300 pulls? Okay.
Only once. So again, I'm not saying like, wow, the bastion of generosity that is Honkai Star Rail, but this, even though it's a small thing, is so much better than Genshin. So that if you want this little girl and her robot companion, you can do that.
Yeah.
The couple of things I wanted to point out, I can't really show it because I already did it for the day, but when we go to the dailies, there's 2 things that are better on the daily quest. Number 1, you can select among them. There's only 1 daily quest, so you're not helping out Ella Musk 400,000 fucking times. You don't even have to do it at all if you don't want to. You can skip the 1 daily quest and do some of the other stuff to get enough points. So, like, this is also, well, a small upgrade. We talk about quality of life stuff, and Honkai has it in spades, but now it's like, this has been out for 6 months. Why hasn't Genshin brought some of this in?
Yeah, this is one of those things that's really nice, is like, and they're, I don't want to say like they're random, but like they're varied in a good way. Like that one, take a photo. Like that's not gonna show up every day. And some people might be like, screw it, I just want to like go grind the simulated universe, or I just want to go do the gold relic thingies or whatever they're called, or the gold flowers. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, they'll have names. Calyxes and
Calyxes. Yeah, they got some silly name. But like, there's like things you can just do. and you choose. And some of them, like the simulated universe, is 200 points of those 500 for today. So like it's the equivalent of doing, say, like 2 dailies, where then if you were to do another, the daily quest, that'd be one of your 5. And then like, oh, level up any one relic one time. It could be like 2 materials or something. Boom, there it is, you're done.
Yep.
Like it's so easy to just pick what you want. And you notice that there's 2 things on this that are worth 200 points. One of them is the daily mission, and one of them was the simulated universe. Like you could literally do 2 things, and you're at 400 points of the 500 for the day to get all your rewards.
And
for
the photo takes 5 seconds. You don't even have to keep it.
You could just shoot it at your feet and be like, "Yep, there we go," and you're done.
So I can knock these out on a daily basis so much more easily. And it's not like Genshin takes long, but this takes half or less. It's just I mean, look, I switched to Sumeru, and that's helped at least freshen things up a bit to not have all the same dailies I have every time in Genshin. But I look at this and I'm like, why are we not adopting this?
Yeah.
And then one other thing we should look at. Oh, it was in that menu. I fucked up. It's right here. Well, among some things. So we have all these different calyxes and some of these stagnant shadows, Cavern of Corrosion, Echo of War. These are like the boss refights. Forgotten Hall is the the Spiral Abyss equivalent. Sometimes you get to multiple teams eventually just like it. So there's a bunch of similarities, but again, one key difference here is all of these are available. I don't have to worry about what is it, Monday, Thursday, Sunday? Is it Thursday? What day is it? What can I grind? I can go after whatever the fuck I want between these and the Ascension materials. They're all available every day, and I have no idea why Genshin continues to gate its content that way.
And I'm assuming with the teleport thing, it just brings you immediately there instead of...
Assuming I've unlocked it,
up the map,
I have to unlock it, and then I have to go back to that place to like set this up. As soon as I do, it's a quick point.
Yeah, right there. It's like putting you right at the door. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the other thing, is like the ability to just boom, teleport right there and start it. You just log into your dailies, and one of the things that's maybe not noticeable right from the get-go, but when you're in that daily menu, if it'll be like, go do this Calaxis thingy or whatever. When it says navigate, it'll just say like you just click it, and it'll throw you to whatever menu you need to be in to go do it. So when you open up those, how many things you need to do in the day, you just go down that list, be like, yeah, sure, I'll take a picture, and you can just hit the button to like go to it, and it would just open up your photo menu. Click it, done.
And I can do it here too.
Yeah.
I'm in the what's this one called in Genshin? I see this is where the Battle Pass. This is the Battle Pass equivalent. Clearly, it's exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
But in here, if I'm like, I need to do that so I can knock it out, just bonk. Here I am. Teleport. I can start it right away.
Yeah.
So small and big quality of life upgrades. Genshin needs to pick these up ASAP because there's really no excuse when they're made by the same thing. Everything else is the same. Why aren't these the same?
I can understand the teleportation can be hard in that like they haven't set their teleporters up the same way and they want people to explore, I guess. But like, I don't know. I don't understand what's so hard about that. You already can teleport to a lot of things pretty quick and easy. Like they might as well just let you do it if you've been there once.
Yeah. And one more shout out. Well, there's a couple more things I want to hit on before we talk about what Genshin does do better. Because I'm not here to bury Genshin Impact, okay? Like, it's a good game. And there's still several things I like about it. My bitterness about Dia aside, I'm on the wrong map. I was playing on mobile for a few days, and now I'm used to that. There we go. Speaking of, this is vastly superior on mobile. That's not even really fair to Genshin because this is a turn-based game, so it's just much easier to play on your phone than it is trying to play some 3D action game. But nonetheless, it's still true. This is far better on mobile. Simulated Universe deserves some love because the one thing that Genshin does not have is a mode like that. They've dabbled with a couple of events that have kind of touched on something like this, but now we're talking about a roguelike element that also has run-over-run benefits, now I have this buff because I've earned it over time, so my characters have better defense or health, or they get more. Like, this mode has kept me coming back as much as anything else, and I'd like to see Genshin adopt something like this long term, and I think a lot of long-term players would, because other than Spiral Abyss, there's not really any endgame content once you're caught up on the story.
Yeah, this is the thing that like I haven't even been able to beat World 2 on this yet. I get to the boss and I just don't have enough to like beat them quite yet. I'm real close.
But you will.
Yeah, and I will. And true to a like roguelike is depending on A, the team I'm bringing, and B, the things I select as I go through. There are times where it'll be like, oh well, every time I I have a bunch of extra break effect, and I have the right elements in the crew, and every time I get a break effect, I get an extra action, and the enemy gets frozen, and I get extra shields, and when I have shields, then I get extra bonuses, and my shields are bigger, and every time I get hit, I get more shields, and so like if you pick the right things in the right order, suddenly there's like a string where I'm like, kill small guy, ult, immediately have my ult because I get a bunch of energy. Kill the next small guy, boom, have half the ult. Boom, break another guy, get another ult. And this is like one character going like 2 or 3 times. That feels great. And it's just like, it feels like a real roguelike, and that some runs can feel really good because you've stumbled into a really fun combination. Like you were playing Hades or something. You get that certain combo of something, and it just feels real crisp. It feels good. You can do that in this, and like that feels really fun to pick a team that you like. Maybe they're not even the best, but if you can pick the things that align with them and work with them, you grind out this roguelike with them and stuff like that. You can try to find new things to do. Like it's fun. It's fun in a way that Genshin doesn't really have a way to like do yet, at least not long term. Some of their events have let you do that, but
I really like the hunt tree. There's a good frozen tree, although some enemies resist it, but then you can take away their resistance. Like you said, there's a lot of good run over run effects. And one small thing, tiny, but did you see what just happened when I leveled up Kafka? I'll do it again. Fuck it. Look, I'm just gonna pump experience into her, and then when it's done, oh, I didn't get a refund that time. I did last time. I don't have to sit there and quibble with all that horse shit about like, oh, you're gonna waste experience. It just gives it to you as a refund. It's such a small thing, but I feel so insulted now going back to Genshin because it doesn't do that. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You can't untear that page out of that book.
I mean, I could swap some stuff for that, but I'll just grind that out later. I have, I think, plenty of stuff left over today. Oh, and I gotta get my. Well, again, this is definitely not also in Genshin. My reward.
Yeah,
for...
your free extras. Yeah.
Hey, and actually, I believe that gives me 10. So fuck it, let's pull.
That's a 10.
Fuck it, we ball.
Let's go. You gotta hope we get the Bronya right here.
Nope. I can tell from the sound cue. Okay, I already have a couple of those. I think that'll be my third. All right, we tried. So all those reasons are part of why I have been playing this more. I also just like turn-based games like we talked about. What does Genshin do better? I mean, there's a few things that it still knocks this out of the park on. The soundtrack is one. There's a few good tracks in this that I've liked. And maybe it's not fair to compare Genshin's, 400-something songs they've got now to what's just starting out here for Star Rail, but nonetheless, there's so many more memorable tracks, even just in the beginning of Genshin, and this has not met that level yet. Maybe it will. There's some good ones, but Genshin has some stellar music, and it's good. Exploration, look. Maybe that's where it's not fair to compare it in reverse, comparing this to a fully fledged 3D world, but exploration's phenomenal in Genshin. It's the main draw, the thing that keeps me coming back. We're going to have Fontaine coming up, so I'm going to dive back into that to explore that whole region. That's great. The maps here are fine. There's little secrets and coves and things to find and like curiosities, but nothing compares to Genshin in that regard, so big demerit here. The towns in Genshin, I think, are more memorable. Nothing against Belobog or whatever the hell the second one's called. I don't remember. But, like, it doesn't compare to an Inazuma. And, like, co-op, for better or worse, even though it doesn't ever feel fully implemented, there's no co-op in Honkai Star Rail. You can occasionally borrow a character as your fourth team member, but you can't play together. That makes sense in a way. I don't know how a turn-based thing would even work. I mean, you can do shit like that, even going back to, like, Final Fantasy VI. You can be like, oh, you get these two characters and I get these two characters. I see why they didn't bother, but it is an element of Genshin I like. So there are several things about Genshin Impact I still think are better, but if they adopted a few of these things from Honkai, it would be even better.
Yeah, they feel like very different genres in that way, because, like, I feel like the combat, the character combinations, and those things, in some ways, feel a lot more, I don't know, even with the limited roster they have in this, sometimes they feel better, like because it's turn-based, because you can kind of the different enemies and what elements you need and how you're going to hit their weaknesses and then how you're going to combo your team members together. Whereas sometimes in Genshin it can just be like, I will throw elements that work together at something in a pile and like numbers come out, and like that's good sometimes. But this just feels more like a real turn-based like RPG. Like the reason the exploration sucks is because almost every area, including towns, feel like you're walking into a dungeon in a JRPG. It's like we all know what it feels like. Where you're on the overworld map, you walk into a dungeon, you look around, and you can see, oh, okay, over there's a button to open that gate, and there's some enemies patrolling over there that I'm gonna have to sneak past, and like that's how almost everything feels like. Sometimes even the cities that you're running around, they're just little areas where NPCs are meandering about and doing things, and you can talk to them, and you can walk to the little invisible line at the gate to walk into the next area. That's the same thing over there. Like it feels like a JRPG in that regard. Which, if that's what you're looking for, I feel like this is. I mean, this delivers. But yeah, so it has like nothing to offer if you really want that exploration experience that Genshin has. Just that level of open world. I want to find a treasure chest. I want to see what happens if I jump up on this tree. Can I glide out to that rock? Like, you're never gonna get that. You don't even jump in this game. Like, that's not even a thing. So
you can break some explorable things eventually. Like, great. I smash it with my baseball bat, which is a good weapon for a main character to have, for the record. And I get like 15 credits and 2 tiny materials. Okay, I guess I'm exploring.
You know, it's actually it's almost like playing what do you want to call them? Do they call them dungeons? The Persona 5. It's like you're doing a bunch of that all the time. As soon as you enter the other world and you're just running around in a place and there are enemies and you enter into combat, that's what that feels like for the bulk of this game. And if you enjoy that part of Persona 5, you know, that turn-based combat, that, you know, back and forth with the enemies, kind of sneaking around them, trying to dodge them, trying to ambush them. If you enjoy that, this game delivers that. That's what this game is.
Yeah. So they're different, but there's so many trappings that are similar, if not identical, that I think it feels especially annoying as a player that Genshin hasn't bothered to step it up. And maybe they will post 4.0. Maybe Fontaine's been so much of the focus. I don't know. But there are times where I'm just frustrated because it's like, I see that you know how to do this. This should have existed before Honkai Star Roll even showed us that it was possible. Some people have been clamoring for certain changes in Genshin for a year or two now.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's a clear roadmap, and all the ones we mentioned just make sense. There's no reason, like, there's not a divide between action game and turn-based RPG that doesn't make sense between the two. Giving a refund on experience when you level up at a character or at a relic is not fucking rocket science.
Yeah.
You know?
So I was just noticing your relic, and I'm like, oh, it's giving you stuff back. Does it still do like the 5 times experience for this?
No,
random...
which is
okay.
actually nice because now, I'm
You're
assuming
not accidentally wasting something.
Yeah, and if the flat rate is just better, then I'm not having to guess like, oh, gee, how much do I put on here? What if it actually hits the 5 or 2 times and I waste it or something? You know, like, I don't really understand that either.
Most of the times that times 5 stuff just ends up feeling bad because you're like, well, I wish I'd put something bigger in it then. Like,
yeah.
True.
Hey, I got an achievement. Hey, crit damage.
Ooh, look at that.
Time to pull again. Enough.
Well, I haven't to pull whatever I want, really. I don't
That's
want
true.
to level this up to 15. I don't love it. Fuck it. Why not?
I mean,
I got plenty.
You could still, you can still use it elsewhere.
It gave me HP and defense. I had 2 attacks I could hit, and instead I hit 3 HP or defenses. It's fine. That's normal. We're used to that. That's across both games. I should put her in the team. I mean, that just makes sense, right? God.
Put her out front.
There we go. I think I am replacing protagonist here because she's not bad, but protagonist. Now, Himiko works nicely with Kafka, and there's fan art of the two of them if you're into that kind of thing. But Himiko burns, and Kafka can take advantage of that. Zila is okay fit for this. Not really going to be triggering the same DOTs with Nihility, or not Nihility, whatever the purple thing's called. Anyways,
Yeah.
but I like her a lot, especially her ability to steal extra turns. So like she's not going anywhere, and Natasha's really good at healing. So
Yeah, even I've needed Natasha. Without
Yeah.
Natasha, I would not survive. Yeah.
well, your options then are like run March, which is fine in small batches, I guess. But not only is she annoying, but her shielding's good.
Whoa. I like March. Okay, I actually like March as a character.
I
She
like
is
March too, but she is annoying as well.
Is March the Paimon equivalent?
No.
kind of.
Well, I guess.
If by Paimon equivalent you mean, or at least in the first area, I haven't gotten to the second area yet. She will follow you around on the world. She does a lot of the talking because you're a silent protagonist. She tends to be a bit more like upbeat or like, oh well, wait, why would we do that? That seems silly. Like that is March, but like she's actually a real person, and she's often, at least in the first area, balanced out by Don Hang. Is that his name? Dan Hang?
Yeah.
Who's like, he's the wet sheet and she's the bubbly one. But she doesn't like to lie. She'll talk about anything even if she shouldn't. And she's not the brightest, but she is very optimistically bright. Whereas Don Hang's just like, it seems like a bad idea. I don't know that we should do that. Or he'll like quote the numbers, you know. But the two of them make a very good like pair to run with your silent protagonist, so that no matter what situation you run into, you can kind of throw either one out there. And they're not trying to dump all of that onto just Paimon. Hey, Paimon, be dumb and ask questions, but also maybe explain some things sometimes. Like, they don't have to do that. They have two people to do that.
Continually go up higher and higher in pitch until, you start alerting dogs or something.
Yeah.
And unlike Paimon, look, he's just here.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually happy for once. He's almost always miserable. And for a long time, I was like, "Oh, what's going on, buddy?" I kept like checking up on him, and then he kept being upset every time I come here. So now I don't bother with him anymore. But he's happy for once because I have a good song on the train. Yeah, I guess it's like this is the Paimon body, but because he's not around, they have March and Don Hang to kind of split the storytelling duties, and they do have a good dynamic. And the second area does really good justice for Don Hang because I didn't love him at first, but he has a lot more going on in the second area, and it does him great benefit.
Yeah.
And sometimes other people come and hang out. Like, she's here all the time, but you'll see other characters from earlier in the story that come on board now later on.
Oh, do they? Okay, that's
we don't
good.
have anybody here right now, I don't think. Oh.
Say, because the only thing that felt a little weird, okay, I was gonna say the only thing that felt weird in the story so far, and I had a feeling it had to change, is that the way that the story was structured so far, it's like once we leave, we're just gone, and there's like goodbye to this world and these characters forever, and I'm like, well, that's strange because they're in my party. I'm gonna be using them all the time, so I don't really know how you're gonna square that circle. I had to assume at some point they would let them like hang out with you.
Yeah, they just hop on board, and they're not allowed to meddle in the new worlds because that's a whole thing, which at least makes sense, and that's where the Star Trek parallel comes in. And to the point we mentioned back at the start of this, it's like I like Genshin's connected world better, especially because the different major cities and stuff are similar, even in all their differences. This gives you basically like the holodeck experience, where it's like, well, we can kind of go anywhere. So here's a desolate, technology-starved world, and now let's go to this really fancy one where there's some kind of big thing going on we don't know, right? Like, they each have their strengths. I think Genshin's overall is better because of that cohesiveness, but the Star Trek parallel for this is pretty apt.
Yeah, it is structured so that like every area, instead of it being like, oh, we go to a new region in Genshin and we're going to tell the story of that region. And sometimes you're just like, well, this is cool, but also like, I also know like 3 or 4 different gods, like at some point we're going to run into like the Avenger syndrome. Like, why don't we just call the Hulk? Like, why can't we just have like Nahida come give me like a helping hand, or like, hey, Sino, there's some crazy stuff going on over here. Can you just take a day off and come help me fix Fontaine? Like, we're not there yet, and they've done a pretty good job at giving everyone a reason to stay where they are. But I feel like that it's going to get a little bit more broad. In this, everyone's in a different world. They have their own struggles, and part of the plot is that like you are following in the wake of this god, this like trailblazer, and the whole point is like you literally are just like this thread of fate that connects these different worlds, and you are just supposed to come into the stories of other people, kind of help out, kind of see how things go, and then leave. And like that is exactly what happens. It's like what's on the cover is what you get. And so you pop in, you do some interesting stuff, you kind of get the big climactic reveals and boss battles and stuff that you would get in a JRPG, you get all that stuff, and then you're off to the next one, and you get that experience all over again in a new environment. And there are some characters like Kafka and the other interstellar type factions that are at play and are, futzing around with these worlds as well, so you still have the overarching story threads, but like at least that's what I've seen so far. Again, I'm not super far into the game, but like it's very Star Trek-esque in that it's kind of serialized, but also very episodic. Show up to a world, that world is its own episode, but there are other things going on with the crew of the ship or the enemies that they bumped into elsewhere that will occasionally reoccur and pop up. So
I've been enjoying my time with this. Again, I'm a bit of a lover spurned because of the whole Dia situation. We've been down the road several times in these videos, so you probably already know what it is. But that was part of why I fell off. Am I going to reignite some interest when Fontaine comes out? Absolutely, because it's not like I hate Genshin now. But I think it's going to take something like that to get me into it. This most recent event that had, Eula and some other folks in it, Klee, was pretty fun. So, like, I jumped into that because that's the content I really like. That got me back for a bit, but 4.0 is going to help for sure. The trailers for 4.0 looked great. There's a lot of interesting new characters coming down the pipeline, and maybe one of them won't break my heart.
Hard to say.
Hard to say. So far, I'm 2 for 2 on 50/50s in Star Rail for what it's worth. So,
good.
We'll see if that
maybe
continues.
Maybe this is the turn in your luck that you needed.
Maybe. So we'll probably continue to do this anytime we have multiple folks making a big pull. I don't know what I'm interested in next. I've seen the leaks for what's coming next in Star Rail. I don't have anything to pull in Genshin for a while. I spent almost everything on Kokomi, but at least I got her. So we'll see what ends up happening. I don't know if anybody's going to go crazy for the first Fontaine pull or something else next on this. It's hard to say when the next video will be, but whenever it does, we'll bring you along for the ride because I think it's fun to watch us pull and fail and sometimes succeed. Any parting thoughts from the two of you?
I think pulling and succeeding fast is the way to go about it.
You don't say. Obviously, it is a skill issue. That's really that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think if people enjoy JRPGs, they enjoy Persona 5 or to some degree, like I don't know about the Tales games. The combat's not really the same, but I think if you enjoy that sort of game structure, I think for a free game, Star Rail's worth a shot. It can be a bit grindy at times, where you're just gonna have to like do things every day, get some points up and stuff. But otherwise, it's like what 2 chapters in, not even 3.
Yeah.
So we're still in the like leeway area or whatever of Genshin. Genshin, I feel like didn't really hit its stride until Inazuma. So I feel like if Star Rail's the same way, it hasn't really hit its stride yet. And I would still say it's pretty good. I would even say that these first areas are, or at least the game feels a little bit more polished than when I was just running around Mondstadt at the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
and that's probably owed in part to the success of Genshin, because now they can take more risks. There's a bigger studio, more developer like that. That all sort of makes sense, but I think you're right. I think this is further along than Genshin was at this point.
Yeah.
So
also another thing, it's super tiny, but I love that when they have hair in front of their eyes, because they're all anime characters, they make them transparent so you can still see their eyebrows and eyes, and they can't what's the word? Not anime. Express. They're still expressive underneath their hair.
Yeah.
It's a fun little detail.
Then the character designs in Genshin and this game are on point. Like I like the asymmetrical whatever this leg is with the zipper. Like little details like that are cool, and that's been true here. And also in Genshin, of course, plenty of really cool character designs. It's part of why people get so excited because, it's just waifu simulator, basically. Pick your favorite. Or husbando. There's
and
plenty
it's true
of
to Genshin, where like every area in Genshin has a different aesthetic. And the characters are going to match some of those aesthetics, like whether like clothes or culture or archetype wise. Star Rail's the same, only it's a lot more broad because the more worlds they put in, those worlds can be very, very different. I'm sure we will be getting robot worlds and I don't know, even crazier things. So like the more worlds they put in, the more sci-fi aesthetics they're going to be able to work into this game, and they've shown that they're willing to do a lot of interesting things. So it remains to be seen how interesting and diverse they make their cast. because they have a lot of options, especially as a turn-based game. They're really not stuck to having a bunch of character models that all have to look the same running around. We kind of joked earlier about the cat being a character. He could be a character in this game, and it wouldn't break anything. If they just animated a cat running around, and or it had somebody else attack for him, and he just sat there, that would be fine. It's turn-based. He doesn't have to jump. He doesn't have to fly. He doesn't have to do anything like that. So
there's also even fewer reasons not to have dark-skinned characters. But guess what?
yeah, it has, still room for improvement. Areas of opportunity, they would say. Yeah.
And one last note from me: Kafka's event's actually also pretty good. It's interesting in the sense that you can actually skip it all, but I would recommend not doing that because it's pretty interesting to just having these conversations with her. It's multi-branching. There's a lot of optional paths you can take in certain small segments. So go check that out because it's a chance to experience her character, to see what it's all about, and also to get some free stuff. So
which event is that one? Is that one that new people can do? Like,
I don't know what the barrier is to it because I already had it, but not the aptitude showcase. Is that not going to be? Oh yeah, it's here.
This one, the companion mission. Okay.
Rewards preview? No, I don't know because I've already. I haven't completed it, but I have done most of it. I actually failed the boss fight because I brought a bad team. I haven't gone back to it because I was traveling.
Is it the letter from a strange woman?
Yes, but this is the quest. Okay. You should just be able to pick it up once you've proceeded far enough in the story, because you do have to get through this part, I believe, to even get to where she is.
Yeah,
so there is a barrier to it, but.
Okay, well, good. I was just doing that Punk Lord Mentality one, which I think is the Silver Wolf one. It seems to be the case.
Yeah, I have quite a few of these I haven't gotten a chance to go back to yet, but, unlike Genshin, they don't block me out from all the characters being in each other's quests and fucking everything, so...
Yeah, no, in fact, you just get fun little text messages from people, and that's what opened up some of these quests. So
the only time it happened, and I can't talk about it because it's spoilers and Jason's about to get to them, but, the only time it came up was when something about the world was going to change, or a person involved was going to change. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, because once we pass this point, we're not going back. So it's either do this event now, and the game tells you, if you proceed, you'll be eliminating this quest, which you can do. So if you're like, I don't care, cool, keep going. But if you don't, that's the big warning. But that's the one way it gates you. So again,
that's such a better way to do it.
I know, that's...
No.
Genshin, I hesitate to look at my quest screen, because it's like... I remember seeing a post on Reddit where somebody was like, this character's involved in this quest, and it was like 15 fucking characters.
Yeah, I don't grab companion quest anymore in Genshin.
Same.
Yeah, that whole thing, that page just remains filled. I have keys, I don't spend them, because until I get to a point that I've cleared out the ones I got, I'm tired of having to double back and start doing half of a character quest to do an event that's timed, so that I can forget what I was doing in that character quest when I return to it later. It's not as respectful of your time as Star Rail is.
Yep. So this is so much easier, especially on the go. Again, the phone component, but I can hop on my phone if I'm in a lobby waiting for something, pre-meeting or whatever. Knock out some dailies in 5 minutes. Not worry about but you need to finish this first and then go do this and that. It respects my time, and I'm giving it more of it because of it.
And they also have events that seem to be all the time too. I'm not entirely sure what they are, but the bottom.
Well, this one's kind of like a recurring thing here. This is just open world 7.
If you was that L2? If you hit L2, I'm not sure what they are, but there's these things too.
Yeah, you can get these. These are more persistent ones. This one I think is. I don't know if this is still here. I guess it would be because the city's still around. I don't know what happens if you haven't done this yet. It looks like you still can.
That looks like the whenever you're testing out how good your graphics card is, one of those.
Yeah. It looks like it's out of a Sherlock Holmes novel.
Exactly.
Which is, I think, by design. And this was a bit of busy work, but it was kind of interesting. I still enjoyed it because I, cleared it all out. But the rewards were still worth my time. So the point is, if you haven't gotten into this yet, there's still a lot to do. For Doug, maybe we've piqued his interest. I want to see how good his luck is in this game. I'm assuming it's either going to be also really good or trash. So
I feel like the universe out there is gonna even it out some way.
Yeah, the universe always wins in the end, just like the house. But
yes.
So that's it for now. We'll probably do some more Star Rail in the future. Who knows when? Again, we'll see what future characters there are. I imagine Genshin, somebody's gonna pull in 4.0. Cool looking characters, but you know how it goes. These pop up sporadically. When they do, join us, pull with us, whale with us, and we'll see you next time.
Later, everyone.
Take it easy.
All right, we wrapped up. I did an outro and everything, and then Jason was like, "Actually, I think I'm gonna pull more." So he's gonna try and get Kafka.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm wailing right now. We gotta break in. This is where I met Kafka first, okay? This is what we're doing.
Come on,
All right, we'll see if it blesses us.
then.
It's not going to. It's okay.
One by one. This is 81 or 82.
We already did. No, this is like whatever.
You did
You did
8
70
pulls and then
or,
one
yeah.
single, right?
Yes.
You had 75.
Yes.
You
This
bumped
is
it to
82.
80. This is 82. This is it.
This is it. This is different music.
Here's your music cue.
Oh god. Can't wait for that.
Well-
Can't wait for the Piranha.
The good news is first pull.
I guess it's true.
The,
Oh,
the
beautiful.
other good news,
And it is the character.
Kitty.
I mean,
That's the good news.
now you have to consider that worthwhile.
Easily. Yeah.
And now it was a minute, so
Woo!
congratulations.
Worth it.
Easily, guys. It's big
Thanks for
time.
staying with us for that additional
Everybody.
minute.
It's been great.
It's
been great.
It's been real. I'm sure you were like, wait a minute, why is he outroing when there's a minute 30 left on the video? Well, now you know why. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Later, everyone.